Headline: U.S. strikes Iran. Russia steps in as potential mediator. Lead: in a dramatic escalation of the Iran-U.S. crisis, Operation Midnight Hammer saw U.S. forces bomb Iran's nuclear sites on June 22nd, prompting Iran to retaliate with missile strikes and threats to blockade the Strait of Hormuz. Russia has condemned the attacks and quietly positioned itself as a diplomatic broker, accepting a mission from Tehran to discuss aid and mediation in Moscow. Latest headlines. 1. U.S. bombs 3 Iranian nuclear sites. On June 22nd, U.S. forces struck Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan, launching a mix of submarine-launched Tomahawks and bunker-buster bombs. The operation, dubbed Operation Midnight Hammer, inflicted heavy damage, according to the U.S., though Iran claims the strikes were superficial. 2. Trump threatens regime change. President Trump publicly floated the idea of regime change in Tehran, tweeting provocatively, "If the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change?" MEGA. 3. Iran retaliates. Missile attacks and Hormuz threats. Tehran responded with missile and drone strikes targeting Israel and threatened to block the Strait of Hormuz, a vital channel that handles roughly a quarter of global oil shipments. 4. U.S. officials say diplomacy still on the table. Secretary of State Marco Rubio emphasized the U.S. is not at war with Iran, maintaining that regime change isn't the official goal. 5. Global backlash and calls for de-escalation. UN, EU, UK, France, Germany, and others called for calm and urged Iran not to escalate further. Israel supported the U.S. actions and carried out its own strikes on Tehran, including targeting Evin prison. 6. Russia condemns U.S. strikes, offers to mediate. Moscow strongly criticized the U.S. strike. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov called it unprovoked aggression and warned of a dangerous escalation. President Putin echoed these sentiments in a meeting with Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, labeling the attacks absolutely unprovoked and signaling deep concern. Russia formally offered to mediate between the U.S. and Iran, positioning itself as a diplomatic intermediary, though specific support measures remain unclear. 7. Ayatollah Khamenei seeks more from Russia. Supreme Leader Khamenei has dispatched Araghchi to Moscow, requesting enhanced Russian backing, likely diplomatic but possibly military assistance, though the absence of a mutual defense clause in the January Partnership Treaty complicates expectations. What it means: escalation risk remains high. Military responses from Iran and Israel, U.S. threats of further strikes, and global alarm signals serious tension. Oil markets rattled. Talks of a potential Hormuz blockade and regional unrest drove Brent crude above $80 per barrel earlier today. Diplomacy being tested. Russia's mediation offer may shift dynamics, be it soft peace efforts or deeper involvement. Date event June 13th. Mossad-aided missile and drone strikes by Iran at Israel launched the regional conflict June 20 to 20 U.S. EU nuclear talks stall as Israel ramps up its strikes. June 22, U.S. bombs Iranian nuclear sites. Trump teases regime change. June 22 to 23, Iran launches missile strikes on Israel, threats made to shut Strait of Hormuz. June 23, Russia condemns strikes, Putin meets Araghchi, offers mediation. Iran presses for Russian support.